Okay, let's see if it's actually working. Alright. Wait. Let's see if that'll do something. Can you hear me? Okay, so yes, you can. Okay, hold on a second, I'll begin. Okay, so yes, you can. Just a second. Okay, hold on a second, I'll begin. All right. Let's see. That should be it. Okay, I'm sorry to waste. I'm not trying to waste time or anything. I'm just doing something right. Okay, I was checking the stream. Pretty much, that was it. Okay. All right. Okay. So today, basically, I wanted to pretty much go over Avatar: The Last Airbender because it's not like soon or anything, but I would say pretty much within well, in February, we already know that Avatar: The Last Airbender. Well, let me put it sideways so it can be more full screen. It might go like blurry for a few seconds, but it should hopefully straighten out. I don't know if y'all can see it super clear or not, but as of right now, we know it doesn't say it on here, but the Avatar: The Last Airbender series, the live-action series on Netflix, of course, is created by the original producers who has it on Nickelodeon. And as you see down here in company credits, it says production companies, Netflix, Nickelodeon Productions. So yes, Nickelodeon is still backing it even on Netflix. So all that we know right now, as of now, is pretty much, of course, it's pretty much going to be mainly based off of the cartoon. It's not going to be based off of anything in terms of something like all like new out of nowhere or anything. It's pretty much going to be based pretty much off of this animated series. I don't know anything about Legend of Korra if they're going to do anything about that. But as of now, seasons unknown, years unknown. But one thing that I do know is that they are going to start filming in February 2020. As of right now, they are holding casting auditions for certain like characters. Now, some of the cast they already have like actors and actresses, but I'm pretty sure they don't want it to be like known too much. But yes, they are holding casting as of right now. So if you are interested in being part of the series, then yes, you can go ahead and go and do what you want, right? Alright. So basically, this is pretty much just a little thing that I wanted to show you, and it's also a video talking about some things that I hope that the TV show actually gets to cover about the you know what I mean, the show, about some stuff that we need to see that was never really answered too much. Right. Okay, now some of this is pretty much just based on lore. Some of this is pretty much just based on what I found out by watching the series again. I just got through watching it pretty much like a week ago. The whole series. I'm like in the middle of the third season, sorry. But I still know what happens because I've seen it plenty of times. So basically what I want to talk about was like pretty much things that I hope the series gets to answer, or at least something that could explore, or at least I wish the series could have explored. So for one, I want to talk about the Avatar state in terms of Aang being in it, and when he originally first left the Southern Air Temple and flew away and crashed into the sea, and him and Appa ended up going into the Avatar state, and pretty much they just been in ice for 100 years. Now, I really wish that they would have had some type of thing going on with it, because we know that Avatar Roku, he told Aang that when you're in the Avatar state, what happens is that you are at your most powerful, but you're at your most vulnerable. So what happens is that if you are killed in the Avatar state, you can die. I mean, but I mean, the Avatar state will cease to exist, and the Avatar cycle will cease to exist. So part of me feels that it should have had some consequence of him even being in the Avatar state, because as you see, this iceberg was blue. It was shining blue before Sokka and Katara even touched it. So he has been in the Avatar state for 100 years, because of course he's been alive. And he was trapped in the ice, pretty much waiting on some outside source to pretty much let him free. But one thing that I want to note and mention is that, of course, as we know, Aang pretty much, we learned that in the Legend of Korra, Aang died pretty young, younger than the other avatars. Most avatars Most avatars pretty much, like, died, I'd say 60s, 70s, pretty old, if you ask me, unless they were, like, in some type of, I don't know, some type of battle, right? But, yeah, typically that's pretty much what happens. But Aang, on the other hand, I think he died in his mid-40s, and that's way too young. And he died because of organ failure, I think. I think it was organ failure. He died from organ failure, and of course, you would have that pretty much from being in some freaking ice for literally 100 years. He couldn't grow up. It was just impossible. So I feel that because of that, something should have like happened because of the Avatar state, right? I mean, he's been active for that long. He died because of it. There had been no other Avatar for like 140 something, maybe 50 something years, pretty much. Because I don't think it was exactly 100 years. Of course, I think they kept throwing a number around, but I don't think it was like exactly 100 years that he'd been in the ice. But I think there should have been some type of consequence for him being alive for that long. I think I pretty much went over that. Oh, also want to mention Sokka's master. I forgot his name, but his tape line is atrocious. That's not what I wanted to mention though. But oh crap! I was wondering, where is that music coming from? It's coming from my PS4. Let me mute this. Hold on a second. Okay. Actually, I kind of like the music in the background. Never mind. Let me put it back on. So what I wanted to mention was that we already know that Sokka pretty much, I say, was it the third season, that he went to this master because he felt more useless in the group because he was the only one who couldn't do anything quote unquote special. He couldn't bend. Yeah, he had a boomerang. Yeah, he could read maps. He told him where to go. He was the one who cracked jokes. You know, I mean, he was really important to the group. But when it came to fighting, he was pretty much the one that was pretty much going to be lagging behind. So he pretty much sought out a sword master, and he ended up running into this guy who was revered as to be a great swords master. And it turns out that this guy was actually part of the White Lotus. The same thing that Uncle Iroh, you know, what's his name? Zuko's uncle was part of. And the White Lotus seems to be a group of people who actually have some understanding of the world and actually wanted to, I guess, to somewhat be peaceful, I guess. I don't know. And it doesn't matter what nation you're from. They pretty much throw all of that aside. And they pretty much did help when the final like invasion took, you know, its place. They did help, you know, the Avatar battle and all that stuff and taking back Ba Sing Se, I think. Yeah, I think it was Ba Sing Se or it was Omashu, whichever one. And one thing I want to note right here is to explore upon in Sokka's life and why Sokka actually did die so young. Because I think Sokka died in his late 30s. And that was kind of weird. I was like, Sokka died in his late 30s? I would not have thought that, honestly. I would have thought, you know, of course you had a thing where, you know, siblings or friends, you know, they live together and all this stuff for all this time. I get that, right? But for him to just die in his 30s? Late 30s, that's just weird. You know, that's of course in the Legend of Korra territory. I kind of wanted to see why he died, because this was an invitation to the White Lotus. Now, he isn't exactly like material, but he was helping the Avatar. You know, he learned from the master. The master clearly saw that he was a nice guy and the group were nice people. So, you know, I think it really was a genuine like invitation, or at least a seal of protection. But I want to see if that's one of the reasons why he died. We know some stuff happened with I think Yakone in the Legend of Korra, which of course we're not talking about Legend of Korra right now, but just in case if somebody wanted to know about what happened in the Legend of Korra, because you may not have watched it, but it's something I really want them to explore upon. At least it want to say, well, what happened with him being in the White Lotus? Did it go further than just this? Okay. And also, I also want to see what happened with Suki as well, because after that, all they had been through, right? After they had met on Kyoshi Island, they met again at Serpent's Pass because she was working there with the other Kyoshi warriors. Of course, that's where they first got their like real passionate kids and all that stuff. He helped her escape that that prison in the Fire Nation, and then afterwards, later in the season, well, she's been here through every season, so I would say she's a pretty important character. So for her to even be there in the final hours and actually help them defeat the Fire Lord, you know, Aang defeated them by himself pretty much, but I would say that yes, she was there helping Toph and Sokka in the battle. But I wouldn't say that they just, didn't work out. Like, that's just weird. They have been through so much together within a year that's just not something that you just say it just didn't work out. Like, at any point, they could have just freaking died. They were in the middle of a war and they stopped it themselves. Like, teenagers. I mean, come on. That's not something that you should go through. I don't know. I want to say that yes, they split up from info on the Legend of Korra, but I want them to expand on this more because I don't think that the Legend of Korra was made by the original people. At least I don't think so. If they were, then but I don't think so. So really, I don't know. I really wish they worked out. You know, that's to me. I really do feel that they should have worked out. I don't even know if Sokka had kids. Honestly, I wish he did. I think he did. I'm not sure. I don't even think he did. But yeah. And going into that, I mean, this night that he was pretty much inviting Suki into his tent. I mean, Sokka, you gotta remember Sokka is the oldest one in the group. So, I mean, you know it went down in that tent, or was at least about to go down. Besides, even if it was just making out. But, besides that point, I also want to talk about Aang literally dying within the Avatar state and at the end of season 2. And of course, that was the series finale. The season 3 finale. I mean, not finale. Opening. What do you call that thing when the season opens? Premiere. Season 3 premiere. When it happened, we saw that Aang had pretty much been out for I think almost a month, and he grew hair. He had a little afro. I don't know if he was like curly or if it was like just a regular little TWA, but still. So what I want to talk about is Aang literally dying in the Avatar state, and you're like, well, no, he was on the brink of death, but Katara brought him back. No. Looking at these pictures, when this lightning shot Aang, you saw all the avatars in the line before Aang literally disappeared, and you even saw Aang's astral cosmic projection fall. That's like his avatar awareness out in pretty much of the universe, right? It's connecting with the universe. You saw that fall. Aang literally died, and this was the same water that those koi fish were in the Northern Air Temple. That the same koi fish that brought Yue back to life. You know, Yue, she Sokka's first girlfriend in the series, and she took over as the moon spirit because the koi fish gave her life when she was a baby because she was supposed to die pretty much because she was basically somewhat unresponsive. She wouldn't cry, she wouldn't do this, she was pretty much expected to die. So yes, even though it was good water, even on the brink of death, no, Aang died. Even Aang said it himself. He said, no, I didn't just go down. I was gone. That was it. Aang even said it himself. Aang literally died. And he literally died in the Avatar state. So I'm pretty much, well, as you know, as the lore says, when an Avatar does die within the Avatar state, immediately someone else is born who is the Avatar. And I want to know, pretty much in between when I don't have it. Okay, I would say it pretty much, of course, if you remember the scene, pretty much when he died, it pretty much had to take Katara a few minutes to pretty much go up that waterfall stream, get above ground. If Toph and Sokka already weren't on Appa, then they had to get them on Appa and get in the sky. So I would say Aang had to have been gone for at least 3 minutes. At least 3 minutes. He had been dead for at least 3 minutes. That's plenty enough time for a baby to be born as the Avatar. Plenty enough time. Come on, people are pregnant all over the world. So pretty much what I want to say about this is, what happened with that baby? Where is that baby? You know what I mean? Where is it? And is that one of the reasons why Aang passed away so young, or could that actually be some consequences to him actually dying in the Avatar state? If that baby was actually born, then if Aang had actually came back to life and was still alive, could that baby, if not be this like a quote unquote second Avatar, could it still have some connections to the spirit world? And pretty much what that's saying is, okay, if this person can't bend all four elements, or at least one, then them being there pretty much has to boost all that Avatar essence into one thing, being connected to the spirit world or something, right? I would think so. Now, some of this is going into lore or theories, but it would make sense, right? Now, growing up, what could they possibly do with this power? Now, granted, if they can only bend one thing, of course, that one thing pretty much gets all that Avatar power. So if they bend air or water, water, earth, fire, air, water, water. Now, you would think, well, Korra was born, right? Yeah, but that would pretty much say that in that time that there was another waterbender who was just like born out of nowhere and who was the Avatar. Now, this waterbender would be just so powerful because the Avatar has to worry about bending four elements, but this one would just be so powerful with a water attribute that it wouldn't even freaking matter. I mean, can you really stop some guy who can bend freaking oceans wide of water, right? I mean, yeah, you're the Avatar dude, Aang, but I mean, you can't stop that. I mean, you're good, but you can't stop that. Also, as the bridge between worlds, what also could this Avatar actually do? Well, we know Aang can see spirits. Other people can see spirits, but Aang can pretty much see them right off the jump because he is the bridge between the the world and the spirit world. So I would say that pretty much he can go into a quote unquote spirit state or Avatar state kind of thing where he can go into the spirit world, but it's mainly to pretty much either talk to or visit the past Avatars. But what if the other Avatar pretty much is more powerful than that? It can go in between realms pretty much willingly. He doesn't have to sit down and meditate and do all this, right? He can possibly like have enough connection to some spirits where he can actually ask them to like do stuff and they'll listen, just to have that much influence. Like, imagine that that the original freaking moon spirit, what if he had so much power, or he or she, whichever Avatar this could have been that could have been born, what if they had so much power they could have just asked that in the first season, that season finale, that koi fish spirit to like he could just have that thing willingly come out of nowhere and just start attacking, right? Or that panda spirit, that Heibai spirit, he could just ask that thing to come start attacking. Now, of course, it does like Aang, but I mean, influence is a whole nother thing, right? As you saw in The Legend of Korra, Tenzin, Aang's son, or at least first son, his daughter actually had a powerful connection to the spirit world. She could go in it and out of it, not willingly, of course, because there were times where she would spend maybe hours, maybe a day or two in the spirit world, not even able to come out because she was so busy in there. And you would think, well, she is not the Avatar, but it also leads to say that even other people can go into the spirit world because they're just connected to Aang, and not necessarily because they're his children, but maybe because of a different Avatar. So it's safe to say that it's a possibility, to me at least. And also, one thing that I kind of hope, if they're going to go the route with martial arts like they did in the series, the animated series, I want them to do the same thing with the live action. Because in The Legend of Korra, what they pretty much did was, I like the premise. I like that little 30s, 40s, maybe 1950s era to it. It was so cool. I liked it. How they had firebenders that use lightning to make electricity throughout the city. I like that, right? But they didn't go too far with the whole lore. Now, you don't necessarily have to, but I know that in terms of martial arts, it was pretty much just regular boxing that pretty much made a lot of firebenders, waterbenders, earthbenders, and airbenders actually did. Now, besides Tenzin, his family were pretty much mainly the only ones who did do actual martial arts when it came to it, because he did learn it from Aang himself. So you would expect so. But other people who pretty much just are regular benders, they pretty much use like a boxing type of thing, besides people who actually come from some type of family or organization or people who do actual martial arts. And I like that it did show in The Legend of Korra that even though, yes, you can use a boxing style with bending that it will be weaker, because as you've seen, not just because Aang and Zuko, remember when I think it was the third season, Aang and Zuko traveled to those Sun Warriors Island. They saw those two dragons, and because they saw all those colors that have never been seen before in the fire, they were able to, it brought their soul up. It brought their burning passion up. They were able to bend so much more powerful than the average firebender. And it not just because of that, but I would say that just most people who do martial arts, right? They have stances. They have certain movesets that are supposed to be stronger than the average punch. You know, they have stands that are pretty much unbreakable. You know, I don't want to say pretty much unbreakable, but in a fight, then yeah, kind of pretty much unbreakable. They're supposed to stay grounded, and that's supposed to go towards more like the earthbending type of thing, right? And somewhat firebending, right? That like strikes that are kind of fast, but also still deadly. Now, they did even go and research into all these, you know, forms and all this stuff. These weren't just things that they just implemented into the anime. Like, well, it's basically an anime, but no, these were things that they actually had somebody from, like, I think an actual Chinese martial artist or martial artists, probably multiple. What I mean by that, to come in and talk about all the whatchamacallits, the martial arts stances and forms and all this. They actually had that stuff happen on set and everything, which was pretty cool. They actually did genuine research. But I did like that it would show that in here, in the Legend of Korra, that just regular boxing punches are significantly weaker. I do like that. Now, I don't want them to do any boxing in the live action show that's coming on Netflix of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I don't know what they're going to do with Legend of Korra. I don't even know if that even exists to the original people. I don't know. But as you see, it's the same thing with what I was talking about. They pretty much use like a boxing format. You can even do that with water. You can do that with earth. As you see, they had a little disc going up. And it showed that, I forgot the guy's name. Was it Mako and Boten? I forgot their name. The one that could earthbend. His earthbending was significantly weak. It was so weak. Like, he was good. He knew what he was doing. But it was so weak. Oh my gosh. Like, Toph would be mad. I mean, seriously. Now, granted, that's the style that he knows and it works for him. But all the stuff that not even just Toph, but other earthbenders could pull off in the Avatar: The Last Airbender, this dude could not do. You know, I mean, he could, but having to say that, like, now they did pull out in the last season, they did, I think, pull out like a little thing where, because you know how firebenders can use lightning, waterbenders can do like blood bending, airbenders can, after a certain amount of time and research, they can just freaking fly, not with the glider, but they can just fly. And it seems that earthbenders can control magma, which it makes sense. Oh yeah, and waterbenders can also control ice. But of course, it's just pretty much the same material at different temperatures, and so it's like with metal, of course. But I felt that kind of didn't fit really, because the whole thing with earthbending isn't like, you would literally have to change its temperature for it to do that. If you would have said, well, there is a volcano, or I can sense like seismic activity because of what Toph used to do underground, I can tell that that's the closest spot to like magma right there. Then bam, right? Or you're just on an island, there just so happen to be a volcano, then you can like do some magma bending, right? But that, I don't know. To him, it's just like literally just out of the regular ground to start bending magma. Nah, I don't believe that. No. But yeah, basically, one other major thing, oh my gosh, that I had forgot about. What the freak happened to all of these Judees? Oh my gosh, I really want to know. I legitimately want to know what happened to them. Because we know that after Aang and the group pretty much found out that the Dai Li with, I can't even remember the guy's name. Whatever his name is. The leader of the Dai Li pretty much had Ba Sing Se pretty much thinking, all of Ba Sing Se, well, most of it, thinking that there was no war outside, that it's just blissfulness and that's it. And the Fire Nation were so close to getting in. They broke through the first wall with the drill. All they had to do was keep riding to the second one and they would have been in. But of course they did it because of course Azula attacked the Kyoshi warriors and posed as them. And that's when the dumb behind Earth King told them their plan. I get it, dude, but don't be so gullible. You don't even tell your allies all your biggest things, right? You just don't do that. But besides that, they pretty much destroyed the layer that they were keeping Appa in, that they were keeping so much secret stuff in and brainwashing people in, especially the Judies. We don't know what happened. For one, well, the original Judy, after she had messed up and Aang had finally somewhat came into contact with other officials in the show, the original Judy had got sent back to Lake Lao guys to go more brainwashing because she wasn't slipping, but she wasn't doing exactly what they say. Just a little bit of slipping and they would send you right back there for more brainwashing. But what happened to all these other Judys? They were down there when everything went down, when that final battle went down. Are they still in the city? And it also goes to show is the Dai Li even let the Fire Nation in. They let Azula take over. They are freaking traitors. They are trash. They let the Fire Nation come in and do what they want. So it's safe to say, what if they had like these Judy just like still out there, just random people with like random brainwashing? It could be possible, which I wanted them to explore this, even in the Legend of Korra. Could there still be like splinter cells or like just any cells that miss the old like Fire Nation ways? Could there still be people there who want that stuff back, who still despised Aang? And with all this brainwashing underneath that the Dai Li had still done, could there have just been like countless people still brainwashed, still following the Fire Nation, wanting them to return? Now granted, it would have been still because the whole part of the series, the first series, Avatar: The Last Airbender, was stopping the Fire Nation. Just for them to come back would be stupid. You just stop them. Why bring them back? It's not going to have the same spark. Zuko isn't the main enemy anymore. Azula and what's his name? The Fire Lord, whatever his name is. I was finna say Izo, but I don't think that's it. Aizen? I don't know. They're in jail. So it's safe to say that it wouldn't necessarily be the Fire Nation, but it would be kind of cool if the actual Earth Kingdom or something happened where there was just a bunch of people just everywhere who were just brainwashed to do what they wanted. And besides, not just that with brainwashing, oh wait, where's I going? Jet. What the freak happened to Jet? Because as far as I know, it looked like he died, because he said he was going to be okay, and then Toph could read his heartbeats, and she said that he was lying, and I don't know. I think Jet died. I hope not, but yeah, it kind of sucks. Okay, not just that, but I also want to go to this point as well. It seemed to me that Uncle Iroh and somewhat Zuko, you remember when they had got that tea shop in Ba Sing Se, that upper class tea shop? Do they still have it? I wish they do, because to just abandon it for what, Azula coming to town doing all this, I wouldn't like that, because, you know, property taxes and this and all that. I mean, I know it's like a nitpicking type of thing, but I would still hope that Iroh still has that whatchamacallit, that tea shop. At least I really do wish he still has it. But like I said, it's just nitpicking. And I think that's the final thing I was talking about. So yeah, pretty much that was the video. Avatar: The Last Airbender is pretty much gonna start filming February 2020. Yeah, now they had some stuff already filmed just to see what they could do with some CGI, because animation is kind of different from actually putting like stuff in like a big budget and then putting it into an actual like show. You can't just bring a whole freaking palace into a show, a live action show. I think they may do what they did with like The Witcher. The Witcher, like, they had a few episodes, but they were long, of course, but because of the budget, they had to shorten the episodes. They may do that with this. I don't know. They may go through the whole series and like, I'd say probably like 20 to 25 episodes instead of going like throughout the seasons. I would kind of like that, because especially if these episodes were like an hour something and plus long, it would make sense. So I mean, Stranger Things, they run for like almost an hour. So I would imagine that Avatar: Last Airbender would pretty much run that same amount of time. Pretty much, maybe absolutely an hour. But yeah, that's pretty much the video. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video. Can't wait for Avatar: Last Airbender. Can't wait to see who's bald headed behind gonna play Aang. Katara, I don't know if they're gonna actually be like teenagers or like adults. But if she's a legal teen, like not like going that way, she better be fine. If they're just gonna pick like regular teenagers, then never mind about that. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of wonder if they're gonna like get, because Toph is like the shortest in the group. I wonder what she's gonna look like. I don't know. She's still, of course, gonna be blind, but still, I don't know how they're gonna do Zuko. I don't know, but I wonder what they're gonna use as Momo. Momo better be cute. He's gonna be the new Baby Yoda, and Appa better be freaking cute too. Like seriously. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So see you guys later, and this will be Blaze signing out. So yeah, have a blessed day, everyone.